Imagine a world where your mind can create anything, where you can just increase your imagination power at any time. I'm talking about limitless ideas, vivid dreams, creative solutions to any problem. So in this video, we're unlocking the secrets to boosting your imagination power and tapping into your unconscious mind's unlimited potential. My name is Alex Morgan, and I help you align your actions, your beliefs, your dreams, and your thinking so that you can achieve success. And success is here, and you might as well be ready for it. And one of the easiest ways to achieve success is to unlock the power of your imagination. And essentially, increasing your imagination is kind of like exercising a muscle. It requires just a bit of practice, and all you have to do is have curiosity and a willingness to explore new ways of thinking. And there are plenty of ways to enhance your imagination, and one of them is engaging in creative activities. Even if you're not an artist, a painter, you can let your mind wander freely, enhancing any type of creative thought. For me personally, I like to write books. That's why I've written 5 books, and my newest book, The Transformative Power of Hypnosis, will be released in November. So this is one way that I engage in creative activities. The reason I like to do this is because once you start doing a creative activity, the wonderful thing is once you start writing a bit, or you start drawing a bit, or painting a bit, or thinking like this just a little bit, next thing you know, your mind kind of goes wild. It starts to go off on different tangents. It has even other ideas, different ideas that really make it worthwhile to continue in this creative part of your mind, the unconscious mind. So if you want to engage in creative activities, all you really have to do is use the unconscious mind. And the wonderful thing about doing that is your unconscious mind is where all learning takes place. So when you're creative and you're boosting the power of your imagination, you're also learning, and you get to apply those learnings to everything that you do. Another way to increase your imagination power, this one probably sounds like it's pretty common because it makes complete sense, is to practice visualization. The wonderful thing about visualization as well is your mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and imagined. So even if you're imagining something and you're practicing imagining something, your mind can think it's real. So it can imagine things that you may think are unrealistic. However, your mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and imagined. So it's also imagining things that it clearly wants to be real. And the other thing about the unconscious mind, it doesn't necessarily know the difference between self and others. So if you're around other people who are having wonderful visualizations, and they're telling you things, and they're giving you feedback, and they're asking you about your visualization, you're actually learning from their visualizations as well. So you can try things like all the hypnosis sessions that I post every single week on Wednesday. Go ahead and try any of those. These all focus on things like creative imagery, such as imagining an ideal day for you. They go into how you can create success, how you can program your mind, and even the latest one, how you can change the world. So if you practice visualization, it makes it really easy for you to increase the power of your imagination. And now as I'm talking about this, I'm thinking, why not also create a hypnosis session for all of you about hypnosis to increase your imagination? So I think I'll do that soon. So definitely visualize, practice visualizing. That'll increase your imagination because the unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and imagined. So either way, you're going to have success. Another way is to ask what if questions. Because if you're just thinking all the time about what happened in the past, and you keep dwelling on the past, and you're not learning from the past because the past is for learning, how is that going to help your imagination? However, for example, what if you could And I don't even have to complete the sentence. However, your imagination actually fills in the rest. What if you could? You probably thought of different things that you could do that you maybe haven't considered yet. So what if you could do things? What if you did something that you never thought about doing before? What if you took that dream vacation? What if you got that new client? What if you talked to that person and you started that new romantic relationship? Let your mind run wild with what if questions, and next thing you know, your imagination will increase. You'll start imagining such wonderful things, and when you start imagining such wonderful things, those can become real in your reality. And when those things become real in your reality, well, it makes it seem like success is easy. And when success is easy, that means that you can create your ideal future and you can create predictable results. You can also spend time in nature. So anytime you immerse yourself in nature, this can really clear your mind and give you new, fresh inspiration. A lot of times when I need certain ideas, or I want to think about something, about writing a book, making a video, making a hypnosis session, or I even need an idea for a client that I have that day, I want to come up with some sort of creative story. I want to help them go from an unresourceful state to a resourceful one. I want to help them get rid of something and let go so that they can feel something else instead. I'll spend some time in nature. I'll go outside. I'm not saying that you have to go in the middle of a mountain or anything like that. Just get outside, walk around, breathe in some fresh air, the freshest air possible around you. This is where you can come up with your most creative ideas. Now, the thing is, how are you going to remember these ideas? You can bring your phone, but don't be on your phone while you're walking around or riding a bike around or doing whatever it is you're doing in nature. Just have your phone there, have something there so you can note down the idea so that you can implement the idea later. You can also travel to new environments. Sometimes, even if it's in your own city or the place you live, this is going to stimulate different things in your mind. You may have new ideas. You may have new perceptions. You may notice something about a culture, a landscape, or you may experience something like you never experienced it before. This will give you a new way of thinking. Maybe you need to go out somewhere that you've never gone out, where you live, or to a new place. This will have your imagination running wild. You can also collaborate with others. I kind of mentioned earlier how you could get feedback about your visualizations from someone else. This is kind of like a collaboration. Every time that you collaborate with another person and you're generating ideas together, you probably wouldn't have thought of these things on their own. Now, would you? So when you collaborate with others, your creativity, your imagination, it usually kind of runs wild because different perspectives are blending together and you're feeding off each other's energy. So think about who you could collaborate. Who could you just call up and talk to that will help you increase your imagination? A lot of times we want to do everything on our own. However, all the other times that we speak to people and all of that, we create a new way of looking at things, and this boosts our imagination and even our resourceful emotions like joy, peace, all of those things. You can even just give yourself the command. I always say there's a one-word induction, a way to get yourself into hypnosis. It's simply saying imagine. So if I were to tell you right now, imagine, you would start probably imagining something. I know you would. Because when I say that to myself, I start imagining something. So if you just give yourself that suggestion throughout the day, imagine. You don't even have to fill in anything else. You could command yourself to imagine something else. However, think about it any time in the day that you're bored. Instead of scrolling on your phone, give yourself that suggestion. Imagine. Next thing you know, you'll be imagining such wonderful things. And the last thing that is really cool, I think, have you ever heard people say the word realistic? You're telling them that you have a certain goal. Well, that's not realistic. Who? According to who? Who is that not realistic for? The whole idea of your imagination is to think about things that you want to create in your reality. It doesn't matter if they're realistic to you or to another person, because who really says if something is realistic or not? Many people before you have done such wonderful things that maybe people didn't think were realistic before. And many people after us will do such wonderful things that we haven't considered before. So nothing is really realistic or not. When you empower yourself with a increasing imagination and you're combining the power of your imagination with those wonderful feelings, and that's how you create what you want. So thanks so much for listening to this audio. Go ahead and comment below what thing you want to try, what do you want to do, what do you want to implement so that you can increase your imagination. If you haven't already, go ahead and like the audio and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate everyone who's been subscribing lately, leaving comments, asking questions, giving me recommendations. It really helps me to keep creating audios and videos every single day. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you on the next video or audio.